Well, hello everybody. It's Thursday, so good afternoon to my family and for the love of dragons. Araya here, coming to you live because it's Thursday and that's what we do here. So, for those of you that are new in the group and don't know me, my name is Araya Anra. I am a dragon and I'm a guide to work with the dragons. It's what I do full time for work. I wrote a book back in 2007 that is available in all formats and is probably one of the greatest tools to get you started working with the dragons if you are being called by them, if they're showing up in your field, if a healer sees them in your field and you're like, what do I do with this dragon stuff? It's a great place to start. So what I do here every week is answer your questions because you need the tools that you need right now, especially where we're out on the planet, right? There's craziness and a lot of shift and insight or inner contemplation time going on the planet. Hello, Gabriella. And in this time of shift, hello, Inger, this is what we're aligning to. And so the work, it's time. If you've been feeling called, don't wait because this is rapid ascension happening right now. We've got some big time activation. We've got some big time openings and expansion going on. And so take advantage of this time frame. Take advantage of what you can move into with all the dragon support behind you during this time frame. So bringing those tools, as I mentioned, while we wait for a couple others to pop on. You've got the book, you've got guided meditations, both free and to purchase on the site, dragonwithin.com. You've got a book club coming up. I want to make you guys aware of that. I just announced it last week. The next Dragon Within book club is April 30th to June 4th. Inger Arns, I think it's time you join. Hello, Bruno. That is a 6-week format. It's a great powerhouse push forward, leap into transformation. And it's amazing how much actually shifts in 6 weeks time in working with the dragons directly because, hello, Andrea, we do a live meditation guided as part of that 2 hours every week. Look at him. He's diving in. He wants to talk to somebody who's calling in the Sapphire Dragon here. So with the book club, it's a beautiful opportunity to not only meet soul family, but to get any questions you have about working with the dragons answered directly. And we have some amazing discussions, not just about the book. We talk about metaphysics, archangels, light language. There's so many realms that are connected to the dragons, and it all seems to come in together. Waving at you, Andrea. So that's going to be April 30th to June 4th. It is set in a format in the middle of the day here in the United States. I'm on the West Coast, Pacific Standard Time. So it runs from 11:30 to 1:30. Right now with people maybe working out of the house, it's a little easier to do that for those in the United States. But what that time frame allows is for the European sector of English speakers and all the way to New Zealand and Australia to be able to make it in that same time frame because we do have a very global group every time. I only take 10 and it does usually fill up. So if you're interested in a spot, please let me know. And besides that, other programs. The Eye of the Dragon is midway, and you know, if that's in your field, start talking about it, start feeling. I always will start groups early if I have enough players. Otherwise the next one will be January 2021. But this week's topic came from a new dragon in the lair, let's call it that. She sent some great questions by email to me, so that's a way to reach me. Email araya@dragonwithin.com or araya@invokehealing.com, or message me through Facebook because that's the quickest way to get to me, especially if you have questions. And I take those questions and I respond to them live every week. So she had a great question, which I'm bringing up because it affects so many of you. And this was a big part of my journey early on. So I know it's very relevant for so many on their journey. And she says, when I started on this path of awakening, almost all of the information I've found thus far pertains to Galactic and Star Seeds. I feel a resonance with them, but I also feel a connection to dragons. Hello, Grace. Can I actually be both? And how is that? And what is the connection? So that's a really common point that you get to in your journey, because for me it started with recognizing a familiarity or connection to the stars. I always oriented to Orion. There was something about it. It was always the only thing I could find in the night sky. It felt like it was calling me. And then a book came across my path, and maybe some of you guys have seen this. Barbara Marciniak has written several really fantastic books. She was channeling, pretty sure it was the Pleiadians. It was a long time ago that I read it. But it was an awakening for me. It was like everything that I had been feeling inside myself was finally down in black and white, and someone had put it in front of me. And I couldn't believe it because I resonated with everything that I was reading. And then I would find more pieces on star seeds or on angelic realm, and they all made sense and they fit and they felt right. And then the dragons started coming through, because what that did for me in opening, it was opening and cracking me open to remember incarnations that I had had. So those of us that have come from very distant realms, especially the dragon realms, because they are very distant, they are very ancient, the first created. And so as ancient beings, we have had incarnations in many, many systems, in many, many forms. We do that for soul expression, for experience, for learning, for gaining wisdom and perspective, for gaining in love, especially here in Earth. This is what we're here to infiltrate and experience, all the way down to third dimensional. This is the only place where third dimensional is in this kind of format. So in that, coming into this universe also, I know when I finally understood the levels with the dragons, and how the energy came in and how they're holding this universe as part of its creation, as part of the volunteer team that when it was being created said, yep, we'll come in and we'll hold all the matrices in place, we'll anchor it. And with that, in order to do so, there was a lot of time spent in the star systems coming down towards this material plane, coming towards the expression in 3D, in lower framework frequency and matter. To do that, there was a lot of discussion, there was a lot of exploration, there was a lot of need to experience more of a human type form. So many of us incarnated in both, or in the Pleiades, in Sirian system, and in Orion, and other star systems, but particularly those three, because those are the three that are the gateways dimensionally down to this realm. So having had incarnations with that, that is what I finally realized had woken up within me, that I recognized and connected with when I read those books and thought, oh my gosh, I feel that so strongly. I have memory there. I know it. But when the dragons finally come in, it's sort of like the opening of the gates. Allow yourself to experience and expand into, all right, there's something beyond 3D. Wow, it's possible that there's beings that aren't human form, that they're from the stars, or they're angels, or they're unicorns, or whatever it may be, galactic beings, that in those explorations and memories, it allows you to begin your journey of expansion and understanding into a greater and greater realm of possibility and potential, into a greater understanding of how much is possible in the universe. Hello, Remington. Salut. And Liz, that coming into that, it's like opening the gates, gently opening the gates, because that keeps pushing you outward into more and more expression and expansion. And then the biggest piece, which all of those that find your way here are most likely dragons. You love dragons for a reason. They're in your field for a reason, typically because you have a very deep connection with them. So it's for you to explore and understand, all right, if I've had incarnations as dragon, as angel, as star being, as galactic being, as unicorn, as fairy, as Pegasus, you name it, there's so many different kinds of beings that you may have had incarnation as, then you will have to feel into that of, all right, get into the truth of my Akashic records, being able to access, you can use the copper dragon. This is in the book, how to access your halls of knowledge for all your incarnations here in this earth plane. That's through the copper dragon in Orion. So when we have that information and we're able to access it, then we get the foundation stone come in when the dragons finally present, because they will most often, partly because there's such a higher dimension, because they have had a reputation in the human framework of being scary, powerful, fierce, like, wow, we don't mess with the dragons. So they sort of hold back until you're really ready for that information. But then when it comes, it's like your foundation stone. So it's almost like working from the top down or the outside in to get to that cornerstone of truth where you can understand and realize, whoa, the most deeply resonant piece for me is dragon. That it feels the most familiar, it feels the most home. And maybe for you it's not. Maybe you come and you find your way here because you recognize, oh, I know I've been dragon, but man, when I connect to the angelic realm, there's something different there for me. There's something that moves through my body or my heart space in a different way that I know that I'm angelic realm, or I know that I'm starseed. I know that first and foremost that is mine. Because what it is, it's your first expression, your first incarnation on a soul level ever was into a specific place. For some it's human. For some it's dragon, for others it's in the stars, for others it's in the angelic realms, others from the rainbow realms, and whatever those mythical beings that most resonate with you. So when it gets down to the internal core contemplation and question and feeling into it, it's which one of those do I know is my first incarnation, my first form that is my home base? That's what I will go back to when I merge into myself. My light body, what form does my light body take? And that can be a question that you, hello, Weldy, that can be a question that you take in a meditation and allow to come in from your guides to show you. Maybe you get visual, maybe you get sentient or kinetic information, maybe you get claircognizance where you just have a knowing. But ask that. If you're in doubt, ask to be shown. Give me that clarity of, all right, what is my home realm and where do I need to focus? And even if your home realm is in the stars, for example, there's a reason you're being brought into the dragon frequency, into wanting to explore the dragons and connect with them, because maybe you work with them in those realms. Maybe your team members that are here for a specific purpose. Maybe you have memory as dragon. If you incarnated in a dragon form in another system like Nibiru and were present when it got obliterated, you're going to have a lot of trauma in dragon form to work through in that memory field to actually break free as you integrate into your light body, as you integrate into all of your incarnations coming into here and now. So part of it, it's drawing you in to wake you up to that. But you will get to the place in your journey where you absolutely know if you're a dragon or not. And either way, being here, having a chance to work with the dragons and actually move into that expression and experience them and have them work through. You can be from the angelic realms and be called to work with the dragons because they're going to make it exponential. I guarantee you the dragons do not waste time. They are here to expedite things for humanity. They've been holding the foundation for all this time and they want to see it succeed. They want to see humanity push through and break through into this next dimensional experience. But in order to do that, a lot of clearing and healing of old dense trauma, emotional wounding, dense pockets of shadow has to be cleared out, and they are experts at it. That's their gift that they bring. They come in and they scourge through, they burn it up with their fire, they flame it, they put it to ash. Hello, Annabella and Gabriella. Gabriella is saying, I feel a very strong connection with the dragons and the fairies. So it's amazing what I hear from you. Absolutely. And you know what? It is possible. So this is an interesting piece I'm going to share here too, Gabriella, because you brought it up. There are many people out there experiencing having their wings come out. Those can be angel wings, fairy wings, dragonfly wings, butterfly wings. I've experienced all of them with different people. How can you have all of those? It's the same explanation. If you have had incarnations in all of them, then you will in your energy bodies be able to connect to and feel those wings. You will be able to tune in and know what are your first and foremost wings. So all of those are possible. And I think the greatest thing that I've taken away in the last year and a half, especially from all of my clients, from all of my programs, I'm in session all day, every day with people, whether I'm teaching or in readings with them. So I spend a lot of time in the multidimensional planes. And a lot of information has come through in the last 3 years, like mind-boggling information. There's stuff available that's coming into the collective now that is so expansive for our little minds that is just pushing the limit. How much can we bring in? How much can we translate and help get through? And so the biggest thing I've taken away from that in the last year and a half, I'll share with you guys, is the understanding and really seeing the infinite level of potential and possibility in this universe. If you are doubting that something is possible, I encourage you to move beyond that doubt and open to the potential of it, because as you open to it, you're going to be able to have the realization of what that is and be able to see the possibility within it. Everything is possible. So I never, when someone tells me a story, they say, you're not going to believe this. I know I sound crazy. I say, no, you don't, and I will believe it because I've heard everything. I've heard so many different random experiences, and they are all possible. When I check in energetically with them and I go in to a reading space with a client, there's amazing things that come through and happen. And because I can see it and feel it and hear it, and the guides are sharing it, I know I can trust it. And I've learned to trust the information, and you will too. So just keep moving forward with it, open to potential and possibility, and allow your heart to guide you, allow your guides to guide you. And you probably have some dragon guides with you right now, which is why you're led to this group and why you're led to listen each week to the answers and the questions that come up and the discussions that we have. And I encourage you, if you love these and you want to really dive in, gosh, try the book club. It is a really small investment for what you get out of it. And it's powerhouse. It's fun. And I swear it's one of the most fun things that I do. And I only do maximum 3 of them a year. And this is the second one this year. So looking forward to that getting started April 30th. So I think I answered her question. I have another great question for next week. I'm excited because she sent a couple and they're really spot on with what people need to hear right now. So we're going to go into that next week. But have a fantastic week and take advantage of this time. I know some of you are still working. I know for me, my work schedule hasn't changed. It's just been added to because now I'm homeschooling kids and managing the house of like all of a sudden we're all here all day with all meals and all those dishes, and it can be a bit overwhelming, but we're settling into a routine. We're figuring it out, and I actually really like it. And this whole pause and reset, I know, is an overall positive, huge positive for the planet. I hope you can perceive it in that way and hold the light. Just keep holding your light because, hello, Willika, what we need right now is those big, big candles burning bright, holding light. I know there's a lot of meditations going on around the world. We've got some major big group things going on for healing of Africa that I'm involved with the dragons, and a large group of people down in South Africa, all over actually, but that are connected to Africa. I posted today had approved a post in today about a meditation on April 4th where they're trying to gather 1 million people together, and what a powerhouse light that would be on the planet to really push this shift, because we're in a really great time of change, and these next 6 months are going to really change the face of what our lives look like here, how we look and react, and my whole body's tingling on this. That's my sign of confirmation. How we react in community, how we respond to each other, how we pull into, it's interesting because I feel like there's an inward pulling in order to find global, that in this everybody's shut in, everybody's in their own space, but it's creating a way to become globally connected in a different sense, and that by coming into yourself you actually allow yourself to become more globally connected. So it's interesting to watch it unfold. We don't know what it's going to look like, and every choice we make from here on out is what I keep being shown. Full body tingles again. This is important. That as we move forward, the timeline is like we're moving out of the timelines. We're moving out. We're squishing the timelines together and entering a whole new one. We're going through a doorway where this set of bookends, this timeline, linear timeline that we've been on, is actually compressing and completing. We're going through a doorway into something that is a new, I don't even want to call it a timeline structure, but it's there in front of us, and it is a whole new paradigm or way of being within it, that as we move into that, we don't know yet what it's going to look like. It's not written for sure. And gosh, I love all those hearts. They're almost distracting. Thank you for those. Love to see those. As we move into it, we don't know what it's going to look like because it's not written. One of the things that I saw this year in a session was the field of potential that lays out in front of us. Some of us believe in destiny, some of us believe in our free will choice, and there is a merge of those. There is our higher future self out in front of us, always leading us toward the highest line of potential for us to follow. Sometimes we veer off of it and we make choices that make us struggle or take us through harder lessons. And when we get to that, by looking into the field of potential, there's thousands of directions we can go. And when you change your perspective, there's 1,000 more in that direction. There's 1,000 more in that direction. There's more between the spaces in between. When you add emotion into it and change the color field of it, it changes all of those again. So there are an infinite number of possibilities of the direction that humanity can go right now, of where this earth can go. The highest line is being followed at this moment, and the more that people pour light into it and a desire for that 1,000 years of peace, right? That realm of peace in the golden age that we want to enter, the more we focus on that and allow that to be what we hold in our hearts, that's going to be a huge, huge body tingles on this. I hope everybody's paying attention now and on the replay, that this, the fractal gloves, I'm not sure what you're meaning by that, Andrea, but I'm sure it's important right now. So as we move forward, holding that highest potential in each of our fields is what's going to help all of it go into that highest line of possibility for us, of what really is the best line of potential for us. But it's unwritten right now, which is why I have not been able to see out into 2021. I have not seen beyond this winter solstice. And typically I have a feel for what I'm going to be doing, or activations or trips or programs or workshops. I get sort of a sense of it, and I have no sense of it right now, which means it's unwritten. We have an open slate, and that's pretty exciting, but we do have to hold our highest intention as we move towards that. So giving you a big wave of love from the dragons, sending that out. I encourage you, if you are wanting a little push forward, 2 weeks ago, you can find it in the video archives. It was on the equinox. It was on March 20th, on Friday, is when I did the meditation live. It's a short 10-minute thing with the crystal dragons, but to do it in your field every night before you go to bed, or just a couple times a week. I know that people are doing that, and it's really helping them bring that crystalline frequency into their field. And I did it as a gift. I did it aligned to be on the equinox, which, you know, was sort of magical. I didn't expect to do it. Woke up and went, this is what I need to do. So go back either on the YouTube channel, which you can find under Invoke Healing International. There's a dragon playlist. It'd be that one on March 20th, or in the video archives here in the group, that it will be available to you. And it's at the last 10 minutes of that live that there's a crystal dragon meditation. And I would encourage you to use that as much as possible right now, just to keep bringing that crystalline frequency into your field. Bring that in, because that's where we're going. We're going through the doorway. We're merging the elementals and the black and white back together so that we actually move into the crystal field and into the next realm of potential. So love you guys. I'm so grateful that you're here every week. I love coming and sharing with you, and it warms my heart to see how many join on the call and get all the hearts and likes. That is, it's fun, and I love it, and I'm so grateful that this is why I'm here and what I'm doing. And for the dragons, I am dragon, many of you are dragon, and I'm so grateful that you're all here joining my dragon family. So have a great week. We'll see you next week, and send your questions in, because I love to answer them. Bye for now.